honestly, I have the worst headache. Like when I left off earlier, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna fold these clothes that I washed, put them away, pack up my son because he's leaving with his dad. It's their last week on vacation. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do that, take a break, and then I'm gonna hop back on. My back, when I laid on the couch for a second, I was like, let me take a brief break because my back started hurting. So I'm laying on the couch, my back, it starts spasming, right? And I'm like, here we go again. They had prescribed me something to take, but I think it's like a muscle relaxant, and then they gave me like a steroid too. I don't like how they make me feel when I take them, so I do not take them on a regular basis. Um, I have like this heating, like electronic heating pad that wraps around my back, my stomach, my midsection. And then I also have like this therapy electronic thing. Nothing is working, right? So I'm laying down, my back is doing that spasming thing. The right side is feeling horrible. And I'm just like, okay, let me take a break. Like, let me try to sit up, let me stand up. Nothing was working. And then I started to get this headache. And I'm like, why do I have this freaking headache? Is it because like I'm looking at TV, I'm looking at the phone? And then it dawned on me, like, I just got my hair done and my hair is so tight that it hurts. So I'm putting oil on my hair, hoping that like that'll help loosen it up a little bit. Usually it takes about a week for it to kind of like die down. When I braid my hair, I don't braid this tight, and I don't sew the bundles in this tight, so I'm not used to this, and it's giving me a horrible headache. So not only am I battling with back pain, I have this headache, and of course I'm taking an Excedrin to help me, but that's not helping because I don't know, it's because this hair is in too tight. So in order to help me with that, I would have to loosen it up. And then on top of that, like I'm eating and I'm like, maybe that's it. Ciao. It is a lot going on, but it is what it is. But I wanted to hop back on here because, ciao. I was just watching like this girl talking about single parents and stuff like that, like being a single mom and how it's so hard, and she was breaking down, and it touched my heart so bad. That's my refrigerator, the ice making machine. It touched my heart in a way where I was like, I feel where you coming from, but I've been a single mom or became a single mom twice. When you first like in the relationship with your child's father, I can only speak from my experience, but the type of men that you have would have issues with, as far as like them still trying to control you in some type of way, although you're not together, or being spiteful because you walked away from the relationship. And so anytime you have a conversation with you, it is like them trying to put you down as a person, as a woman, as a mother, or pretend like you're nothing without them, or whatever, just making co-parenting a big problem. Like, if that's the type of man that you have to co-parent with, when you first leave that relationship, just prepare for that stuff to happen. Like, you have to absolutely set up boundaries, because she was talking about how she just texted him and said like, hey, she moved out of the school district that her kids go into. So she wanted to still use the address there for the kids to continue to go there. So she needed help with him to do X, Y, and Z. And I guess he clapped back at her on some, like, you can't do nothing without me, X, Y, and Z. And I know what that feels like. The first time I became a single mom, with my first son, I ended up leaving and moving to LA. because I didn't want to move back to my parents' house. And that's a whole nother story. But I ended up living with my best friend. And because I was like basically sleeping on her couch and in her son's room and basically like paying her for a shared space in her son's room at that time until I could find my own apartment and stuff, I would ask my son's father, like, can he stay with you? We built a home together. He has his own room there. Your work is so flexible. Like, he does in-home care for his aunt at the time. So I would go with him to go work sometimes and help him clean up or help with his aunt. So bringing our son with him would be no issue. I just needed him to like keep him like a week at a time so I would have time to go and do like job searching or apartment searching and stuff like that. And you know, he would tell me like stuff like, this was your choice, you figure it out. Like, he would not help me with our son. And it would never be me asking for something for me to survive. It would just be help as a parent with your son. And in spite, he would make sure that he wouldn't help me. And I don't know what was behind that at that time, but both experiences, both time I've chose to like leave my son's fathers, that's the type of like responses I would get from them. And I would be like, when I was in a relationship with them, I would try everything I could to make it work, whatever, right? But when it was time to move on, I didn't want to argue anymore. I didn't want to do anything anymore. My sole purpose of speaking with them was always to figure out what our schedule was going to be like with the kids, you know? And they either didn't want to talk to me, didn't want to help out, was out there doing whatever they were doing when I was trying to figure out my life. So I wouldn't say becoming a single parent was hard. It was learning and trying to co-parent. That is the hardest part for me as a single mom, because I feel like it is within my power to do what I have to do to be a provider for my household. Like, you should be, as an adult, period, able to afford whatever you're doing in your lifestyle and figure out a way how to make it work. That is your responsibility as a parent yourself and as an adult, period. But when it comes to co-parenting, you know, sharing the responsibility of raising a child, that is the hardest part. And so if you have a partner that's on the same page with you, like, we need to do whatever we can do to make sure that we agree on how we discipline our child, how what our child's schedule is, and the school that they go to, and being very involved with the choices that are made as far as like going to the doctor, healthcare, you know, life insurance, all of that stuff. We should be on the same page because we're raising a human being. And as parents, you should be parenting, co-parenting, you know? Not you pay my bills and that's why X, Y, and Z. Like, no. So for me, it's always been that part of things that really like irks me, when you feel like you are the custodial parent of that child and the other parent just has no interest in the important parts of parenting a child. And they have the nerve to fix their mouths to say anything about the choices in the parenting, whatever you're doing. But they can't even tell you what your child's shoe size is. They got to text you and ask you what the child's clothing size is. They don't even know the teacher's name. They don't even know the address to the school that the kid goes to. But you're looking at me to judge me on my parenting? So I felt her when she was like breaking down and having that moment, because when you feel like you want to cooperate with the other parent to ensure that your child has the best upbringing possible, even though you guys are separated, and the other person, like, that's not their focus, it's like beating a dead horse or a wall. But when you first become a single parent and you choose to leave that toxic relationship for whatever the reason is, or it could, maybe it just wasn't even toxic, maybe you just grew apart and you guys split on a healthy, state, whatever that is, like, I just know it's always tough to begin with. But as time goes by, the best advice that I could give is anything that you choose and you decide to do, make sure that you can do it yourself. So I understand the whole point of like keeping your kids at a school that's good for them. But eventually, you're going to have to put yourself in a situation or even go up to the school and have the conversation with them. Whatever you can do to make sure that you have full control and you don't necessarily need the other person's help, because sometimes stuff like this happens and you want to create the most stable environment for your child, whether that person wants to communicate, wants to co-parent, wants to cooperate or not. The goal is that your child is raised in a loving, stable, healthy, thriving environment. And the more you establish all of that by yourself, even if the other person is involved, you need to be able to do everything by yourself, and just them co-parenting and helping you is a plus. That's how your mind should be. And in the beginning, you're still stuck in, we lived together, we did this together, this is how we moved when we were together, and you're thinking that parenting is going to be the same once y'all separate. It's going to be different. It's going to look different. You're going to disagree on things. Like, that is just what it is. So it's not the same. It's never the same. Co-parenting, for me, in my experience, has not been the same. Because when I was with my child's father, getting them to do stuff, I wouldn't even have to. It was just a given. Oh, you're going to go to parent teacher conference this time. I got to work this time. You're going to do this. Let's put the money together. We got to get the kids Christmas good. All this type of stuff. Like, okay, you take them to the doctor's appointment. You go to the dentist. I'll go. It wasn't nothing like hard to figure out until we separated. So in the beginning, I'm thinking the schedule and how we do things would be the same, but it isn't. So although you shifted to, I'm separated from you, but we're still parents together, that is not always the same on the other end. So like, the best advice I can give is like, do what you can to when you become a single parent and you have left that relationship, to start building and changing the way you think of things, and you will quickly find out what kind of co-parenting situation you have. And if that person is being disrespectful towards you, which 9 times out of 10, some form of disrespect is going to happen, it's just important to just set those boundaries right up front and ahead of time. And the worst part about it is the fact that the kids are in the middle of it. And your kids won't always understand why they're not going to see their dad, or something that they usually do with dad, they don't do anymore. And the best thing I could have done was, I know my son had his own phone when he was 4 or 5 years old. Because for me, it was like, there's your phone. You could call dad whenever, you could text dad whenever. They had their own communication. And if I needed him or to talk to him about something important, I would text, hey, I need to talk to you about X, Y, and Z. Let me know when you have a moment. And then that was that. Because I understood that I needed that boundary, because I was not about to get in a back and forth match about not a thing, honey. No, no, sir. Mm. You had how many years to disrespect me and treat me the way you treated me? You will not get another, not a second. It's a no. I don't even, I remember when I used to get them paragraph messages, baby, I would put my phone on silent and put it to the side. I don't know what it said. If it was more than 2 lines, baby, and it started off with X, Y, and Z, baby, I don't know what he said. To this day, I don't know what he said. And I would delete those messages before I even fix myself to wonder what they said. Try again, not with me, but I don't know. That's just me. Child, I done hung it up with my earpiece, but thank y'all for checking in and listening to my TED Talk. If you are a single mom and you have advice for newly single mothers, like, girl, put it in the comment section below, because I feel like these newly single mothers need some encouragement. They need some advice. Like, as time goes on, it does get better. Okay, you begin to learn how to navigate it, and you begin to see what works and what doesn't work, and what you prioritize, and how you end up working the situation out with, your child's father as far as co-parenting. But put it in the comment section below if you have a little bit of advice for a newly single parent, specifically a single mother, because I can't speak for single dads. But put it in the comment section. What is your word of advice? And I guess I'll see you guys on the next vlog. This just turned into a daily vlog, just like that. Anyways, love you guys. Thank you so much if you got this far from watching. And again, if you've watched this, if you like this, you've encouraged me to post again. You've encouraged me to continue and complete one of the goals that I have of becoming a content creator and posting a minimum of once a week. And, welcome to my journey, resetting my life. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.